Hello everyone, tayo po ay magbibigay overview sa mga ginagawang training for pollution control officers. Isa dyan ang 40-hour basic training course for pollution control officers. At iyan ay dahil doon sa DNR Administrative Order 2014-02, otherwise known as the Revised Guidelines for PCO Accreditation. Maraming nag-o-offer ng PCO training, iba't ibang training institutions accredited by DNR EMB. And among others, yan po ang JP Environment Consultancy Services with recognition number 2025-09-R. So kapag a-attend ka ng basic training course for pollution control officer, dapat sa isang accredited training institution at gaya din ng JP Environment Consultancy Services with recognition number 2025-09-R. At meron silang upcoming training on February 10 to 13, 2026. Face-to-face training ito based on Memorandum Circular 2025-002 na lahat ng trainings for PCOs and managing heads are face-to-face. Ang venue nila ay sa El Grande Residencia Hotel and Resort in Lipa City, Batangas Region 4A. So kapag ikaw ay umattend ng basic training course for pollution control officers sa isang training institution, pare-parehas yan ng module na ginagamit approved by DNR Environmental Management Bureau Central Office. At syempre, ang objective ng basic PCO training course is to equip the appointed or designated company pollution control officers with requisite knowledge, with the knowledge to understand the Philippine environmental laws. At par with other countries, maraming mga environmental laws. Ganon din ang Pilipinas, pantay sa ibang bansa, ang mga environmental laws na meron tayo. So, ang isang participant ng basic training course for pollution control officer, kailangan maintindihan niya ano yung mga major environmental laws. At meron tayo diyang lima. Meron tayong limang batas dyan. So, dun yan sa training pag-aaralan. Ganon din, kailangan yung appointed or designated pollution control officer ma-strengthen, mapalakas lalo kung papaano niya sisiguruhin na pumasa, mag-comply sa requirements ng DNR o ng environmental laws. Skills din yan eh. Ano ba ang compliance requirements ng company ko? Paano ko ito gagawin? What are the requirements of the environmental laws sa aking nire-represent na industry? So mapalakas yung kanyang kaalaman sa mga compliance requirements. And once na makomply na yan, ano ang tatandaan niya? Dapat ba ito ay tapos na o kailangan niyang i-check lagi kung ito ay valid ba? At ano yung mga conditions nito? So yung training, the basic PCO training will strengthen the compliance management skills. And then, of course, PCO training din, malalaman mismo kung ano ang duty niya bilang pollution control officer. The 21 specific duties and responsibilities of an accredited pollution control officer. Typical sa isang pollution control officer ay meron pang ibang position na hawak. No? So yung mga empleyado na mayroong kanyang posisyon na hinahawakan, ia-add pa ngayon itong pollution control officer. So sa training, pag-aaralan yan sa mga pag-aaralan yung mismong duties and responsibilities ng isang pollution control officer. At maraming mga officers sa kumpanya, meron ngang safety officer. Ano ba yung pagkakaiba ng role ng isang pollution control officer sa isang safety officer? Sa katunayan, napagsasama pa nga ang dalawang posisyon na yan sa isang tao. The safety officer and pollution control officer handled by one person. Nangyayari yan. At sa basic PCO training, isa sa objective nito ay magkaroon ng sense of responsibility. We all know that we have a legal obligation and moral obligation. Pag naintindihan na yan sa PCO training, madali na yung environmental responsibility. Yung technical aspect ng mga batas na ta-translate into culture, na ta-translate sa mga desisyon dahil alam mo yung environmental responsibility. So sa babase sa mga technical aspect ng mga batas, gagawin mo ngayon siyang kultura or desisyon. Like in the purchase of materials to ensure protection of our environmental and natural resources. Paano ka dyan sa decision mo sa purchase ng materials? Nandyan yan. We need to have a sense of environmental responsibility. So sa mga nag-undergo ng PCO training, at the end of the 5-day training, ano na yan, na-build na yan. Siguro yung iba na hindi focus, masasabi mo sigurong walang changes sa kanyang ah, environmental or sense of environmental responsibility. Pero nearly everyone after the training, masasabi nila na ganito pala kalaki ang role ng isang pollution control officer. So, ang role ng isang pollution control officer napaka lawak. Kumbaga sa isang lugar, malaki siya with respect to the size. Lalong-lalo itong isa na to ensure compliance with environmental laws. So sa PCO training, dapat makabisa mo na agad ano yung mga compliance requirements ng environmental laws for uh, the respective industry. Halimbawa, ano yung compliance requirements ng isang hospital sa isang subdivision, sa isang manufacturing plant, sa isang animal production, o sa isang clinic, sa isang piggery, poultry, magkakaibang mga compliance requirements. So, kaya napakalaki ng role ng isang PCO kasi kailangan mo makakabisa yan in 5 days. Kulang pa nga. Kung sa formal education nga, isang semester pa halos yan. Ito, 5 araw lang. So, kailangan malaman niya nung PCO yung role niya doon. So, during the 5-day training, kailangan malaman mo ano yung mga compliance requirements ng batas. So, pagbalik ko ng trabaho, ano na ang gagawin ko? Yung role na yan ng PCO, napakalaki. Next is the monitoring of the pollution control systems. May mga wastewater generated in the facility. Maglalagay ka ng water treatment system. That's a pollution control system. May mga air pollution source installation. May generator set, boiler. Yung iba, yung mga equipment emitting more than 10 metric tons in a year. Overregulated air pollutants. So ano lalagay mo? Yung air pollution control facility. Pati yung sa solid waste Hindi naman pwedeng puro disposal ang gagawin mo. You have to ensure na nare-recover mo na yung energy from the waste stream. So meron kang mga infrastructure dyan, may mga facility ka dyan. May mga tinatawag nga tayong materials recovery facility. Mayroon tayong mga equipment na ginagamit, may mga procedures tayong gagawin. Kailangan mong malaman during the training ano itong mga pollution control system at paano ang monitoring. Kailangan ba ako bibili ng sarili kong equipment or pwede na mag-hire na lang ako ng third party to monitor emissions, to monitor wastewater discharge, pwede ba yon? O ako na lang, bibili na ako ng gamit. Malalaman yan during the basic PCO training. And isa pa, yung to communicate our compliance to the requirements of major environmental laws, to showcase our compliance to the requirements of environmental laws, gumagawa ang PCO ng communication in a form of a report. The report contains information, data that can be used by somebody, whether internal or external, for decision and policy making. So kung i-report mo sa management, ito po yung waste generation natin, ito yung pwedeng cost ng ating treatment, o ito yung cost ng collection ng waste, nagiging nagiging basis ang information or data na yan sa decision and policy making. O para hindi masyado marami tayong tinatapon na basura, dapat may ganito tayong policy. Now, internally, malimit na nai-skip yun. Ngayon, if the PCO will perform his or her function as PCO, sabi nga sa section um, 12 ng DAO 2014-02, otherwise the revised guidelines for PCO accreditation, it is the duty of the PCO to submit self-monitoring report on quarterly basis. So sa training, pag-aaralan yan yung um, environmental reports, merong incident report, merong self-monitoring report, merong compliance monitoring report. Pag-aaralan yan sa basic PCO training. Sa lahat ng training institution yun, ituturo yan at gagawin yan ng isang PCO. Bakit? After ng training, yun din ang gagawin mo. Ginagawa lang sa 5-day training kung ano yung gagawin mo after ng training. So, turuan ka how to prepare the report. In fact, on how to submit the report to the regulatory agency. Mas mabigat yon. Hindi ito nadadala sa mga Google na rin minsan eh. Nadadala na ito sa mga training, technical training. Kailangan ang PCO din ay may kaalaman doon sa how to directly communicate and or coordinate with DNR EMB. Malimit ba akong makikipag-coordinate or on a special situation or condition? Natapon yung um, chemical sa ilog, kailangan ko bang sarilinin o i-coordinate ko yan sa regulatory agency? Maaring ang sagot natin itago, hindi. Pero merong mga policy na mababasa, makikita during the training na kailangan mo mag-coordinate ng mga ganyang environmental incidents sa DNR-EMP. Natututunan na lang ba yan kung mag-check lang sa internet? Hindi. Natututunan yan doon sa training. Kaya mahalaga ang basic PCO training course because you will know the significant role of a pollution control officers towards environmental sustainability. Lalong-lalo sa DNR-EMB. O kung merong ilang regions, sabihin natin Region 1 to Region 13, tapos meron tang NCR, CAR, tapos yung NIR, maiikutan ba lahat yan? Maaari, maikutan lahat yan, pero hindi lagi. So, dapat maku-coordinate mo talaga sa EMB ang mga bagay-bagay kasi hindi naman lagi mapupuntan. May sasubmit mo yung mga importanteng information data that can be used by the regulatory agency for decision and policy making. So ginagawa yan ng PCO at mapag-aaralan yan sa PCO training. Sa Pilipinas kasi, we want to protect our environment, land, air, and water, and including natural resources. So ang malaking partner ng DENR ay ang mga pollution control officer. Eh of course ang managing head. Ang gagawin sa PCO training, papaalam sa iyo yung primary government agency responsible in protection, conservation, development of environment and natural resources. Pag nakita mo yung vision ng DNR, mamamangha ka na towards sustainable development ito. Everybody must enjoy the environment and natural resources dahil yan naman ang totoo. But with a sense of environmental responsibility na may darating pang henerasyon. So the DNR and EMB mandates kailangan malaman yon ng isang pollution control officer. Ano ba ang mandato ng EMB? Ano ang mandato ng DENR? And eventually, you think like a regulator or you act like a partner. So kailangan yan sa matutunan during the training. Malaman mo ang DNR and EMB mandates so you can think like a regulator and act like a partner. And of course, as a PCO, to ensure high level of compliance sa requirements ng batas, sa mga technical, procedural, and standard ng DNR, kailangan malaman mo yung environmental compliance system. Maaring meron tayong environmental management system because of international certification, pero hindi pwedeng kalimutan yung local. So, nandyan yung company registration system, nandyan yung online permitting and monitoring system, nandyan ang hazardous waste management system. Lahat ng mga sistema sa loob ng bansang Pilipinas to protect our environment and natural resources, kailangan matutunan yan ng isang pollution control officer. During the training, syempre, didiscuss yan ng mga ah, trainer. So sa iba't ibang training institution, ganun ang ginagawa. You need to understand this system implemented by DNR. Like for example, the Philippine Environmental Impact Statement System or PEISS. What you will do kung meron kang proposed project o halimbawa meron kang proposed na hospital project, what will be your uh, compliance? So, nasa sistema na kasi yan. May sistema ng gobyerno dyan. That in Section 4 of PD 1586, no person, partnership, or corporation shall operate or undertake without first securing an environmental compliance certificate. Lalong-lalo kung ang project mo ay tinatawag natin na environmentally critical project or project located in an environmentally critical area. So you need to know as a PCO, as the as an aspiring PCO. Kung ikaw naman ay a-attend nga ano ng PCO training, ihanda mo diyan ang sarili mo sa mga pag-aaralan na yan. So whatever training center, training institution, a-attend kayo or doon kayo a-attend, pag-aaralan niyo yan. Pagkakaiba na lang dyan is how to deliver this at kung paano niyo tatanggapin ng participant. Baka nga pagkatapos ng 3 araw pagod na, parang dami palang gagawin ng isang PC o parang ayaw ko na nito. Doon ngayon yung tanong na masisiguro niya kaya na mag-comply ang company niya sa requirements ng mga batas. Implemented by DNR, Environmental Management Bureau. Kailangan maintindihan ng isang participant sa pagiging pollution control officer, the importance of regulatory compliance. Nandyan kasi yung mga administrative fine, meron mga fine na pwedeng ma-impose during the training. So pagka gano'n na, ang So the importance of regulatory compliance is to be known during the training kasi paglabas ng training, after the 5-day training, yung PCO nang gagawa ng lahat. So para tuloy-tuloy yung momentum during the training, high na high ka doon sa ganito pala kasi ang importansya ng pag-comply sa requirements ng environmental laws. Kaya kailangan matuloy-tuloy yung momentum hanggang sa nakabalik na sa trabaho. So there are 5 major environmental laws na pag-aaralan dyan sa training, whatever training institutions. So gaya nitong binibigay natin na information, may 5 major environmental laws, PD 1586, RA 8749, RA 9275, RA 9003, RA 6969. So halos dyan iikot ang training. So whatever training institution, attend ang isang appointed PCO, dadaanan yan. Now, during this technological era, tayo naman ay nasa digital age. Pushing a button on the internet will get back all the information you want. Madali ng mga bagay-bagay na ito. Kaya lang, yung technical aspect, hindi natin na minsan nababasa yan lang, iniintindihan. So somebody from the institution will explain to you, ganito ang gagawin mo dyan. Maaring mabasa mo yung batas na yan, pero kung paano yan i-apply, medyo mahirap. Kaya better to attend the PCO training. At the end of that training, mapapansin mo na napakalaga ng role ng isang piso towards environmental compliance. So you can make or break your company. You can make your company complies with the DNR requirements and eventually complies with environmental laws. Or you can break like hindi mo talaga naiintindihan during the training yung mga requirements ng batas na ito, papaano na pag sinabi ng, o sige na, apply mo na ng mga permits, clearance, certificates, o i-register mo na ang company sa anumang platform. Kung di mo yan nasundan during the training, kawawa yung company natin. That's why I say, you can make or break your company. So, kailangan maintindihan mo ano yung sistema na meron sa bansang Pilipinas at susunod ka doon. Hindi yan nababasa sa mga batas lang eh. Ibibigay sa yan by flow chart. So as a PCO, you need to be informed of the process. Saan ka, anong simula, anong pangalawa, pangatlo, pang-apat. Especially if you are a critical project or project located in a critical area, mas malaking compliance ang ini-expect sa'yo ng DNR and the community. So you need to know what are the requirements under the Philippine Environmental Impact Statement System because of your project, the nature of your project. Under PD 1586, kailangan ko ba ng environmental compliance certificate o hindi? Pagka nakuha ko na ba itong environmental compliance certificate, tapos na ba o kailangan kong i-comply yung mga conditions na nakasulat dito? When we say environmental compliance certificate, tapos na ba? O baka nga nung binuksan mo ang environmental compliance certificate ay sets of conditions. Kaya nga minsan masasabi pa nga natin ang ECC ay Environmental Conditions Commitment. Kasi pala pag binuksan mo yung ECC mo halos puro conditions that the proponent shall conduct tree planting, that the proponent shall construct a wastewater treatment plant. Mga ganong statement sa loob ng Environmental Compliance Certificate. Kaya masasabi mo din na ang ECC ay Environmental Conditions Commitment. Hindi pa tapos. At yung mga ipinangako mo during the application of environmental compliance certificate, kailangan mo ngayong tuparin yan. Like kung sinabi mo, para hindi ako makaapekto sa water bodies, maglalagay ako ng wastewater treatment plant. O, dyan sa environmental management plan implementation, i-check ka, in-implement mo ba yung management plan na yon. At imo-monitor din yung bang pinut up mo na wastewater treatment plant, totoong effective, efficient ba, nagko-comply ba sa standard set by DNR. Tubig yan eh, maduming tubig galing sa mga comfort room. Eh, napakalaki ng project mo. So, hindi lang malaki yung volume, talagang makakaapekto ang tubig basta itinapon mo sa water body without proper and effective treatment. So, i-monitor mo yung quality ng tubig niya. So, matututunan natin ano yung mga parameters na i-measure mo during the monitoring. Sa training, pinag-aaralan yan. So, saan man training institution. So, napakaganda, di ba, ng basic training course for pollution control officer. If you have the chance to check the course outline, ano yung mga topics na i-discuss, mamamanga ka. Ang ganda. Kailangan mo rin matutunan bilang pollution control officer, ano yung mga permits na i-apply after the training. Or at least during the training, makagawa ka na ng draft. Kasi dinidiscuss na dyan yung procedure, how to apply for ECC or CNC, how to apply for discharge permit, permit to operate, how to register as waste generator or as transporter or TSD. Pinag-aaralan yan dyan sa training, whatever training institution. Kaya pare-pares yan, pare-pares yung module niyan, wala namang differences. Again, ang magiging pagkakaiba niyan, on how to deliver this information. Maraming, of course, na information available. Pag kailangan mong basahin, intindihan yon. Sometimes, we need others to explain to us yung mga information. Kasi kahit anong basa mo, di mo naiintindihan talaga. May ganon. Lalong-lalo yung technical aspect like how to prepare the documentary requirements for the application of permits, clearances, and registration. Paano ba ito gagawin? Like the engineer's report, like the contingency and emergency plan. Paano kung gagawin ang mga ito? Or even preparing an official letter of request or an affidavit. Paano yan gagawin? Napakalaga yan sa PCO training. So imagine, during the 5-day training, hindi mo nakabisado yung mga requirements, all the more on how to prepare the documentary requirements, mahirap na yan during and or after the training. Kaya kailangan mong matutunan yan. Tanong-tanong talaga tayo dyan sa mga trainer. Whatever training institutions na nag-o-offer ng PCO training, dadaanan nyo itong mga itong mga kailangang i-apply na permits at ano yung mga requirements, itinuturo yan doon. So, ganun din yung paano mag-prepare ng self-monitoring report, paano yung compliance monitoring report, and ano yung mga parameters to be monitored, who will analyze the sample, or ako bilang PCO, am I authorized to get sample o pwedeng iba? Am I allowed to analyze and produce my own result? Pwede ba yon? So during the training, pag-aaralan niya. Kaya mahalaga yon. Siyempre, may mga tinatawag na kung magpo-provide ka ng evidence, hindi galing sa'yo. Galing sa iba. To say na malinis yung tubig, di mo pwedeng ikaw yung kukuha ng sample at at ikaw yung mag-a-analyze, hindi sasabihin mo based on my analysis, malinis. So maybe during the training, mapag-aaralan, makikita nyo, maririnig nyo yan na somebody authorized by DNR EMA will do the sampling and analysis and they will just give you the result. So, upkeep mo yung result, titingnan mo kung ano yung trend, paganda ba yung quality o pabagsak yung quality ng tubig o ng hangin, etc. So you need to have a record keeping. You need to know how to upkeep record, how to use this data in your operation towards environmental sustainability. Pero itong ating sinasabi, during the PCO training, saan man training institution, tuturuan kayo how to prepare a self-monitoring report, how to prepare compliance monitoring report. At yung report na yan contains information and data na gagamitin ng regulatory agency for decision and policy making. So imagine if you don't know how to use your data and information, you don't know to prepare a report, anong mga decision and policy making ang gagawin? O, di hindi tugma. So we need to prepare report accurately para accurate din, appropriate din yung mga decision and policy making. So, pag-aralan din kung ano yung mga activities sa isang industry, lalong-lalo sa isang participant ng training, ikaw mismo parang mirror habang dinidiscuss ano yung mga aspect at yung impact, ano yung mga activity at yung mga effect. Kalintulad naman lahat yan eh. Lahat naman gumagamit ng basic sanitation facility. Ano ba yung sanitation facility? A comfort room and a standard septic tank. Halos lahat meron yan. O ano yung activity, flushing of toilets, ano yung impact, water pollution. Ang tanong, paanong ah, control measure ang gagawin ko? Anong pollution prevention program ang gagawin ko para hindi magkaroon ng water pollution? And then continuous improvement. Kung hanggang na lang ba lagi ako sa siphoning ng septic tank o pwede na akong mag-put up na rin ng wastewater treatment plant, not to dispose or discharge wastewater, treated water, but to reuse for the purpose of reuse. Yung pwedeng ibalik ko na ulit sa building for flushing with toilets or for fire reserve. Mahalaga yun. So pag-aaralan dyan sa training. So that's it everyone. I hope you have learned something kung para saan yung PCO training, bakit may PCO training, ano yung mga pag-aaralan sa PCO training, at ano man training institution, pare-pares yung module. Kaya pare-pares din yung quality, pare-pares din yung um, information na ibibigay. Just remember to ask questions sa mga trainers, sa mga resource speaker, especially sa DNR, Environmental Management Bureau. Coordinate always sa DNR EMB if you are in doubt. So, sa mga hindi alam kung saan a-attend ng PCO training, coordinate with JP Environment Consultancy Services with recognition number 2025-09-R. Meron po sila February 10 to 13, 2026. Face-to-face training po yan sa El Grande Residential Hotel and Resort in Lipas City, Batangas. Thank you very much for time listening and God bless us all.